Welcome forward here. Today's adventure is the Intenders Handbook, the Intenders of the Highest Good, a guide to intention process, the conscious community brought to you by Tony Burrows. This is the Highest Lighthouse publication there. This is the 7th printing from March 2010. We always say that in order for our intentions to manifest, that they must serve the highest and best good of the universe, and not the highest and the best good of ourselves and others. Anytime we gather together in an intender circle, it is understood that all of our intentions serve the highest good, but it's also a good idea to say it anyway. On occasion, we've had people who wanted to make an intention but didn't care whether it served the highest and best good or not. They just wanted their desires to come to them no matter what. And guess what happened? Well, it did. You can manifest your intentions whether you ask for them to serve the highest and best good or not. It's just that you could easily find yourself in an odd or uncomfortable predicament after your intentions come to you. Sometimes you'll even wish you hadn't made the intention in the first place. The following quote from Patty Reviardo. It seems like every so often I have learned my lessons the hard way. I've been coming to the Intenders for several weeks and everything was clicking just right for me. I had a new loving relationship and a wonderful place to live. The only loose end I had in my life was that my credit cards were extended in their limit and I needed a part-time job. The bills were piling up and the creditors were calling on me almost every day. I needed some work badly and I didn't care how I got it. All I wanted was for the creditors to leave me alone. So I went out and I applied for several jobs and found one that I really hoped I would get. It involved taking care of a very nice elderly lady in her home right near where I lived. I wouldn't even have to get in my car in the morning. I could just jog to work. It seemed like a perfect job and it paid more than the others. I didn't want to take any chances. That night, when I put my intentions into the Intender circle, I didn't say the part-time job and the best and the highest good. Sally asked me about it and I said that the job was just too important. I wanted it at any cost, regardless of whether it was for my highest good or anybody else's. And I remember looking around me and seeing several of my friends in the circle shaking their heads. Well, everything happened so quickly. I got the job, but within a week I found that I wasn't strong enough to lift the lady and take care of her properly. I pulled a muscle in my back, and every time I would help her out of the bed, it would just hurt us both. Things steadily went worse, from bad to worse. After a few more days, I had to quit. And as if it wasn't enough, later on I found out that there had been another stronger, more qualified person who applied to the job at the same time I did. That person really needed work too, but was passed over and was forced to move away because of me. I felt terrible. Now I never forget to ask that it all be of my intentions that are for the highest and the best good for everyone concerned. End of quote from Patty Reviardo. Occasionally an intender will have been putting the same intention into the circle week after week with no results. They have a desire so strong that it has crystallized in them, and yet it just won't seem to manifest. This is when we say that the highest and the best good clause has kicked in. It's simply not at the highest and best interests of the person for the particular desire to materialize. This always presents the intender with a very interesting decision. They've had so many of their intentions come true, therefore they know that the intention process works. At the same time, they also know that they wouldn't want something to manifest if it wasn't for their highest good. After a great deal of soul searching, most often they let go of the desire and they let that go. And in the same way, they are steadily bringing themselves into closer alignment with the highest good. The following quote from Sally Moore reads, "When we first started to use the intention process, we thought that the only thing we were doing was learning how to manifest things so we'd be happier. It wasn't until we'd been at it for a while over a year that we realized something else was happening. Not only were we living our dreams coming true, but we were also letting go of old stuff that we had been hanging on to forever. It was that old stuff that was holding us back from living in our highest light. On one hand, our desires were being fulfilled, and on the other hand, we were giving up our old desires that hadn't manifested. Pretty soon we noticed that Pretty soon we noticed that we didn't have as many desires as before. They had all either been manifested or let go of. That's when things started getting really good. We began to feel lighter and freer. The intention process was lining us up with the highest good, and what had been brought to us was more wonderful and much more grander of a gift than we had received from the small mundane intentions that we had manifested since we first started. It was as if we were sprouting wings." End of quote from Sally Moore. We always end our intention circle with a toning. We've learned that some things very special happens when people tone together. A oneness occurs. You can feel it, and it feels good. Your spirit lights up and you are uplifted. And all you have to do is to make a sound. The toning that we follow on our Intenders circles is with one of the highlights of the whole week for many of us, and it's so easy. In fact, it's probably the easiest way of a community of people to experience a oneness. For over the years, we've experimented with a lot of different toning methods, and most of them working just fine. You can use any approach that you want, as long as you end up in the oneness. Here's how we do it. After everyone's intentions are put into the circle, we'll stand up and hold hands. Someone will make an announcement that we see all of our intentions going out into the universe so that they will return to us in great abundance. At this time, we also call upon our spirit guides, angels, archangels, helpers, and all those who stand with us in dedicating our intentions to the highest good and the best good. Oftentimes, before we do our toning, we call them by name to join our circle. In parentheses, not all of the Intender circles in our area choose to call upon their spiritual helpers, but our circles wouldn't think of toning without them. End of parentheses. We take all of the intentions made here tonight and we send them out to the universe on a pillar of white light that we create right here in this circle. We envision this pillar of light going up through the roof of this place and reaching out into the heavens, above, far as we can imagine. And now, we see it going through the floor beneath us, connecting us to the heart of the Mother Earth. And we see it expanding now, out past the walls of this building, and across the streets of this community, and all across this land. inspiring and uplifting everyone it touches. And now we invite and invoke our guides and helpers. We call Mother Mary, Buddha, Jesus Christ, Kuan Yin, Saint Francis, Krishna, all of our relations, I Ching, the Ascended Masters, the Archangels, Moses, Muhammad, Yogandananda, Gandhi, Abdul Baha'i, Saint Germain, and add any other favorite guides. All of those who stand for the highest good. We give great thanks that you join us here today, and we ask that our intentions return to us in great measure. And, as always, we say that in order to manifest, all our intentions must serve the highest and best good of all the universe, ourselves, and all others. So be it, and so it is. End of quote. Then we pick a sound that feels comfortable for all of us, like Om or Ah or Home or Ha or God. When we tone, we keep it going as if we were singing around. We've discovered that it's best if we tone for at least 3 or 4 minutes, or until we reach a point where our sounds have joined together and we have achieved oneness. After the toning is finished, we stand quietly for a few moments and bask in the oneness. We've been ending our Intenders circle this way for several years now, and we find that it works best. We know that toning will take us into oneness, and we walk away feeling great.